Hello everyone. When you talk about Java programming language, the very first thing which comes to our mind is OOPS concept. And because of its popularity and complexity, many freshers and graduates skip this topic without knowing the fact that object-oriented programming concepts are really very easy to understand. And it is used in many other programming languages too. Keeping this fact in mind, we at Great Learning decided to come up with a video that will easily make you understand one of the most important concepts in object-oriented programming, which is inheritance. So without wasting much time, let's begin with this video on inheritance in Java. Before we get started, I want to introduce you to Great Learning Academy, a free initiative by Great Learning. You can access over 200 plus courses with 1000 plus hours of free content on trending high demand domains absolutely free. Register now to complete the course and get your free certificate of completion. Check out the link in the description of the video below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing. So make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video, any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments. So now that we are in our agenda slide, let's look upon what all topics we are going to cover in this video and how we are going to go ahead. So the very first topic which we are going to see is what is inheritance. We are going to understand what is this concept of inheritance, and not in Java but in real world, right? The next is examples of inheritance. So similarly in real world, what are the examples of inheritance? When you go around and you see things, then what is inheritance in those criteria, right? That is what we are going to see in this topic. And then we are going to jump in Java programming language and we are going to understand that how this inheritance is written or is achieved in Java programming language, that is syntax of inheritance. Okay. And the next topic is types of inheritance. We are going to see the different types of inheritance. Okay. There are numerous types of inheritance and we are going to see how do we write it. What are the different ways of writing all these different types of inheritance, right? And the next topic, we'll see a practical implementation. Obviously, the last four topics we are going to do the theoretical knowledge, right? But in this one, we are going to understand the practical implementation. That means we are going to go to the Eclipse and we are going to do some programs, some use cases I will show you where inheritance behaves very abnormally, right? So those things we are going to see in this particular topic. The next topic and the last one we are going to discuss with super keyword, because this is one keyword which is really very important to understand in inheritance, okay? And it plays a very vital and important role when you talk about inheritance concept, right? So these are the topics which you are going to cover in this particular video. So sit back and let's start with the first topic, which is what is inheritance. Now to understand inheritance, we have to understand the relationship of a father and a son. Obviously, because inheritance, when we talk about this particular word, inheriting is nothing but to inherit some properties from your father or, anybody, your father or mother, right? So imagine like, you are son of your father, right? And you must be having some properties of your father, like maybe your nose or maybe your face shape, right? Or maybe your ears, something will be matching, right? But it's not like all the properties of your father is within you. You have some of your own properties as well, right? Which is unique in you as yourself, right? So inheritance is something like that. So you are inheriting some properties from your father. Father is inheriting some properties from grandfather, and it goes on, right? So this is what is inheritance when we talk about a real world scenario, right? Now, if you look at these pointers, will give you a much more clarification on what is this inheritance. It is a concept that acquires the properties from one class to other classes. Okay, like from son class to other classes like father or mother, right? For example, the relationship between father and son, correct? In Java, a class can inherit attributes and methods from another class. What is the meaning of this? That means, let's say that I have a class father, okay? I have some variables of it. I have some methods of it. That means the attributes and the methods, right? Now I have created a class son, okay? And this particular class is inheriting all the properties from father. Okay, this is the case, this is the scenario. Then what will happen? Then all the properties which father has will directly and automatically come inside son. Okay, so you don't have to write these features here. You don't have to write these properties here. Okay, but automatically it is there. Now, as I told you that you will also have some of your unique properties, right? So that also you will write here. This is your variable and your methods. Okay. So now you have your father properties also and your own properties as well. This is what is a basic concept of inheritance, right? We will come back to this particular scenario in a programming way when we talk about different types of inheritance and other things. But right now, let's look upon the pointers as well. So as you can see, inheriting the properties and behaviors in a class or in an interface is called as inheritance, right? In an interface is something like a class, okay? In interface, basically, whatever methods you will write, this will be only declared. Okay, these methods will not be defined. It will be only declared. All the methods will be only declared. That means all the methods will be abstract. That is what is an interface. Okay, it's similar like class, but in class we can have a definition of a method, right? We can write anything in the class, but in interface we can't. We can't actually define any method at all in interface. Now, we will talk about interface later on because there is a scenario of some of the inheritance where we talk about interface as well. So we'll talk about that. Now, the next point, the class that inherits the properties is known as subclass or the child class. That means in our case, the child or the son is the subclass or the child class. And when you talk about the parent class, that is nothing but the father. Okay. The next point is the class from which the properties are inherited is known as superclass or parent. That is what I have told you, right? So in this case, father will be my parent class or superclass and son will be my subclass or child class. Inheritance allows us to reuse the code which already exists. Obviously, inheritance is useful for that. Inheritance represents the is-a relationship. What is this is-a relationship? Is-a relationship is something like in your environment, whatever things is having a is-a relationship, right? That is what is inheritance. So if you talk about son and father, there's a is-a relationship, right? So this is how we call inheritance as a is-a relationship, okay? Now let's see the examples of inheritance and let's try to understand what are those scenarios where we can actually talk about inheritance. So the very first example, as I've already told you, the father, son, the grandfather, great grandfather, it can be anything. So you can see the generation here, right? This is an example of a perfect example of inheritance. If you talk about any other examples, you can see here that a basic car, that a basic car will have some of its features, right? Like maybe 4 tires, 1 engine, or, maybe it will run petrol or diesel. It will have a steering wheel, right? It will have 4 windows. These are some of the properties of a car, correct? So let's say that we have 200 methods of a car like this, okay? Tire, wheels, these all things. We have different methods of a car. Now, all the cars can be designed in a different way, right? So we can have an Audi, we can have a BMW, right? We can have a McLaren or Lamborghini or, Skoda or anything or Maruti, right? Now, all these cars, Audi, BMW and Maruti will have the same 200 methods. They will have the same amount of wheels. They will have the same engine, maybe upgraded one, or they'll have headlights. They will have steering wheel, right? So they have all the 200 methods. It's just that the appearance and the name is different. Correct? So this is also an inheritance because these cars are inheriting from a basic car model. Correct? So this is also one example of inheritance. The next example is a TV. Now you can see we used to have a CRT TV when back in 1996 or 1997, right? We are having old CRT TV. Now, based on this model, we got to know that we have a screen, we have some buttons, we have a volume button, a switch on button, we have some of the things, we have some chips behind the TV, right? Now, based on this particular base model, we derived LED TVs and we derived smart TVs, right? So these are the subclasses. But old CRT TV is the parent. Okay? So this is what are some examples which we can tell about inheritance, right? Now that you have understood the basic concept or basic understanding of what is inheritance, let's see how it is written in Java programming language, right? So now we talk about the syntax. You can see that this is a basic syntax. How do we write our inheritance programs, right? So you can see we use the word extends to show inheritance, right? So suppose that you are writing a derived class. This is what is the name of the derived class. This is just a syntax, not a proper program. So just understand in that manner. Later we will write the programs. So derived class, that means the son, right? Or the grandson is a derived class. So we are extending with the base class. That means our father or maybe grandfather, like those things. Now the methods and the fields. Now a general format for that will be a proper program of that will be, you can see here. So superclass is written here, and inside that class we write the superclass data variables and member functions, right? That means the attributes, the methods, the data members, those things. Now we have another class which is son, and that is actually extending. That means that is actually inheriting the properties of the superclass. So all these things will obviously and automatically come here. But we don't have to again write it. See, here we are not writing superclass data variable, superclass member function, right? So directly these things, these two particular things will be coming inside subclass, but we don't write it. Okay, it is internally there. And it is also having, the subclass is also having its own properties and behavior, which is subclass data variable and subclass member function. Okay, so you can say that in total, this subclass will now have four things. First of all, its own data variable, subclass data variable and subclass member function, and then the superclass data variable and superclass member functions also. So this is what is the syntax of inheritance. If you have not understood, don't worry, because now we are going to understand the different types of inheritance and we are going to see some of the programs based on that, right? Now, before I show you the programs, first of all, please understand the different types of inheritance, because this is really very important. Now, when you talk about types of inheritance, we have the very first one, single inheritance, where we only talk about two classes. One is the father, which is the parent class, which we also call it as superclass. And the next is the son class. That means the subclass, or we can say child class, correct? So this is single inheritance, where we have the single inheritance happening. Only son is inheriting properties from father. This is the only thing which is happening here, correct? Now, the next is multi-level inheritance. Now, the name suggests multi-level, right? That means there are several levels. Let's see what are the levels. So there are several other people also. We have the father, son, and then we have the grandson. Okay? So we can have it like this also, that you have great grandfather, and then grandfather, and then father, and then son, and then grandson, right? It can be like that also. That is what is called as multi-level inheritance. But here you have to focus on one thing, that grandson is inheriting the properties from son, okay, and not father. Grandson is inheriting directly the property from son and not father. Son is inheriting the properties directly from father. Okay, so it's like a level, right? Perfect. Why I am explaining that to you? Because the third one is hierarchical inheritance, and here we have a very different kind of structure. Now, if you can see here, we have two subclasses. One is son and one is daughter, but both of them are inheriting the property from father. That is the parent class, right? Now, this is very different from single inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Why? Because a father can have two child, right? A son and a daughter, and both of them can inherit the properties from their father, correct? So how do we write this? How do we actually write it, correct? So what you will do here is, let's say that I'm creating a class son, right? So what you will do, you will write extends, from whom it is extending from father, right? So you'll write father. And here for daughter, again a class will be there. Similarly extend, and here also you will write father. Correct? This is how you will write the classes in hierarchical inheritance. But in multi-level, this is not the case. In multi-level, what you're doing is class, let's say grandson, extends from whom? Son, right? And if you will write the class of son, obviously it will extend from father. So I hope you are getting the difference. Can you see here what is the name of the class and here what is the name of the class? Right? So this is the difference between both of them. If you have understood this, so now is the correct time that I should go and I should tell you the programs. We should understand the programs. So single inheritance, when you talk about, here is the program. Let's see what is happening. So a class father is there. Let's say that this is the super class, like the parent class. And we have the number of accounts, 4 accounts my father is having. Okay, let's say not my father, but yeah, generally the number of accounts for a father is 4. The show method is balance amount is rupees 56 lakhs, right? So there's a one method which is a father, which is saying that balance amount is rupees 56 lakhs. And now there's another class, obviously, which is the child. Why? Because we are using the extend keyword. That means inheritance is showing up here, and the son is having its own property, which is complexion. And the complexion is fair. Now understand, as soon as you see this kind of program, you have to understand that these two things, the variable, number of account, and the method show of father is automatically coming here as well. We have not written it, but it is there. Okay. Now when we talk about the main method, let's see what is happening. We are creating an object of son, which is A, and then we are seeing number of accounts, A dot number of accounts. Now see, A is an object of what? An object of son. So when we are calling this A dot number of account, obviously it will go and search where? It will go and search in the sons class, right? So this will go and search in the sons class. In the sons class, do we have number of accounts? Like generally, if I look, then we don't have, but we do have it, right? Because it is inheriting all the properties from father, and father is having number of account. So it will print what? It will print number of accounts, colon 4. It will print that. Next is A dot show. Again, this particular thing will go to the son, but within son, do we have any show method? We don't have it. But internally we do have it, right? Because show method is there with father. So it will also print balance amount is blah blah blah. Is rupees 56 lakh, right? The next one, complexion of the son, A dot complexion. Again, A is an object of son. So let's go to the son. Now directly we can see that complexion variable is there with son. So it will directly print fair. Right? So you can see this is how the single inheritance works, right? And here the total motto of this program is nothing but that a son is having all the properties of his father, right? So you can see this is a very basic example of single inheritance, right? Now let's look upon the next example, which is of multi-level inheritance. And if you remember, multi-level is something like level. That is how you can actually, remind about all the different types of inheritance. So that it will be very easy for you in interview that you know that which inheritance is which one, correct? So this is class father, parent. Class son is extending father. That means this feature is also here within son. So this is the child, this is the child, and this is the main class. So you can see son is extending from father. So can I write like this? and grandson is extending from son. So we can write like this, right? We can have a program like this, correct? Now you can see what all objects we are creating. Father obj equal to new grandson. Now if you look at this program, what is happening? Basically, we are creating an object of grandson with the help of father class. Understand this. This is what is called as upcasting. Okay. What is upcasting? See, generally what is upcasting is when we basically create a class of when we create an object of the child class with the help of the parent class. Okay. That is what is upcasting. We are doing the casting there. So we are not directly creating the object of our grandson class, but we are indirectly creating the object of grandson by the help of father class. Okay. So obj.feature, obviously right now this will go where? This will go to the grandson's class. Why? Because obj is right now an object of grandson. So it will print nodes. The next you can see the line obj equal to new son. Now the same object, I am referencing it to son's constructor. So now this obj is not an object of grandson, but now it is an object of son's class. So this obj.feature now will go into the son's class. What is it printing? Eyes. The next one, again the same object, I am referencing it to father's class, father's constructor. So now this obj is not an object of son, but is an object of father class. So obj.feature will go where? This will go directly to the father class. What is it printing? Ears. Do not worry, we are going to do this particular implementation in our Eclipse also. But right now, just to understand the different kinds of inheritance, we are doing this. I hope you understood this one. So now let's go to the hierarchical inheritance and let's see what happens here. Here is the very basic thing. We have the same code. It's just that this thing is changing. So now every child class or the subclass is extending or inheriting from the parent. Okay. So father obj. So obviously this will be working similarly, right? It's just the writing pattern which we have changed. So the type of inheritance got changed, right? So right now this obj is the object of son. So obviously it will go to the son's class. It will print what? Will print eyes. The next you can see is that now the object is referencing to the daughter class constructor, right? So it will directly go to the daughter one. It will print nose. And the last one you can see it is referencing to the father constructor. So obviously there is no question. It will go to the fathers. So that is ears. Correct? So this is how this particular inheritance works. Now that we have seen single inheritance, multi-level and hierarchical, now is the time that you should understand the one more inheritance, which is multiple inheritance. Now have a look at this particular example. Okay. Now look at this example very clearly, because this is something which is really very different from the other three. Okay. Now why is it different? Let's say that I have a father class, which is the super class, the parent class, right? Let me write here P. And obviously the mother will also be a parent class. So these father and mother are not extending from anything. Okay. And these are not child. These are all parent. Okay. So father will have the name method. Let's say a name method is there. And the mother will also have the same name method. Okay. Now we have a child class, which is son. Okay. And we are creating an object obj of son. And we are calling obj name. Now here you need to understand what is this kind of inheritance. Here how you will write this class of son. You will write class son and you will write extend, but it is extending from two classes. It is extending from father also, it is extending from mother also. Now why there is a problem? Why I am sounding like that? This is a very difficult case. Why is it so? Because father and mother both have the same function, which is name. Same method, which is name. and we have created an object obj of son which is calling name. Now this object is confused that whether I should go and take the father's name method or whether I should go and take the mother's name method. Now there is a very big ambiguity. This is what is called as ambiguity, that the system is not sure what to do. Okay, and this is the reason why a very famous interview question comes into picture, which is multiple inheritance is not achievable in Java. Right? So this is the best part, because all the inheritance are achievable in Java, but the three which we have seen are achievable in Java, but multiple inheritance is not achievable in Java because of this reason, which I have told you now. Okay. But here is the fact. If some interview asks you that which is that inheritance which is not possible in Java, don't say multiple inheritance. Okay. I know that this is not achievable using class, but multiple inheritance is achievable in Java using interface. Okay. So any interviewer is asking you that, hey, can you tell me which inheritance is not achievable in Java? You should say there are none, because all the inheritance are achievable in Java. Okay. It's just the fact that multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance, which we'll see later, is achievable using interface. This point you need to add on, right? Okay, so this is quite a twisting question, but we have understood, right? Now, we have seen that using class it is not possible. But how is it possible using interface? We also need to know that, right? So I've written a program where I've written the class father is having the name method, class mother is having the name method, and in the son, which is extending father and mother, that means a multiple inheritance is there. And the son object is S, where S is calling the name method. Now it is confused and having an ambiguity that whether it should go and call the name method of father or the name method of mother. So this program is wrong. This is not achievable. So what we have to do, we have to achieve this particular multiple inheritance using interface. How do we do that? Have a look. Interface father. Remember, in the very first part of this video, I told you that interface is something where we do not define any of the method. We just declare it. Name method is just declared. We are not defining it. Name method is just declared. We are not defining it. So these are called as abstract methods, and interface is consisting of only abstract methods. That is why this father class is now an interface. This mother class is now an interface. Now there's only one place where we can actually define our method name, which is here. Okay. So we have a class son, which is inheriting all the properties from father and mother. So multiple inheritance is there. We can see this, that multiple inheritance is there. Now you'll ask me, sir, wait, what is this implements? So see, when you are talking with the class to a class, or that means when you're inheriting properties from a class to a class, we use the word extends. The same thing if you are doing for an interface to an interface. So we use the word extends to show the inheritance. Okay. To show the inheritance, we use the extend keyword when we are showing the inheritance for a similar kind of classes. But when it is about interface, inheriting some properties from a class, or a class inheriting some properties from an interface, then we use the keyword implement. Okay, so this you need to remember very carefully. Okay, and that is why we are using here implement. So extend and implement is not very different. It is just showing that inheritance is happening here. Okay, the only fact is when those two things are same, we use extend. When those two things are different, we use implement. Now that we have the definition of this function name, creating an object of son will directly go to this portion. It will print, hello, my name is Ritvik. That's it. Now you are getting the output. That means multiple inheritance is achievable using interface, right? So this was about multiple inheritance. So let me clear the particular slide and let's see what we have written here. So same method, void name. definition for the method void name is done in the Sun class, and that's how we get the result. Now the last inheritance which we have is nothing but hybrid inheritance, and when you talk about this, it's nothing but a mixture of two inheritance. Now you have to understand with this diagram that what are those two inheritance, which is it is a mixture of, right? So you can analyze and think about what is this kind of inheritance, what is a mixture of two inheritance is a hybrid, okay? And this is just this kind of a question which I'm giving it to you, right? Okay. Now here also, one of the inheritance which is there is multiple. And because one of the inheritance is multiple, so this is also not achievable using class, but it is achievable using interface. Okay. So normally in all the interviews, hybrid inheritance is not gonna be asked. Okay. Normally the interviewers or in basic software development field, we generally have only 4 inheritance in use, which is, single, multi-level, hierarchical, and multiple. Okay. So now that we have understood all the types of inheritance, let's move to the next topic, which is practical implementation, and let's see some of the programs. How does it work? Okay, so let's see some of the programs and let's do the implementation of inheritance in Java, right? So now here you can see I've opened the Eclipse, and this is one program which I want to show you. Now it's a very basic program of single inheritance, and we will see some more examples of single inheritance and some use cases also, so that you will have a proper understanding of inheritance, right? Now have a look here. We have a base class and we have the method of it, which is M1. And then we have the derived class, which is inheriting properties from the base class. And derived is having one of its own function or method, which is M2, right? Okay. Now in main method, let's see what is happening. So we are creating an object of derived class, which is D, and we are calling D.M1, right? So D.M1 will obviously go where? Will go to the base class and will print the base class method. Why is it so? Why is it not going to derived? It is going to derived, but it can see that derived is already inheriting properties from base. So it is printing the M1 method of base as well, right? Next, D.M2, obviously it will go directly to the derived class and will find whether M2 method is there or not. Yes, it is there, so it will print directly that, right? Let's do one thing. Let's run this particular code and let's see what it is printing. So if you can see, there is no error in this program. So obviously it will first print base class method and then it will print derived class method, right? But now have a look at this example. This is also the same kind of example, okay? And we have a class A, which is the parent class. We have 2 variables here. We have a method display. We have some statements written here. And then we have one more class which is showing or inheriting properties from A. So it is a single inheritance. And we have another variable of its own, which is C. And we have another function which is show of B class, right? So these are the things. Now you can see here, we are creating an object of B class, okay? And using that object, we are assigning the values to A, B, and C variable. And then we are trying to print the display method and the show method. Let's see what happens in this particular program. So if you look at the output, you can see the output is coming here and it says inside class A value 10 and 20. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is, if you go here, I was calling the display method and display method is there in my first class, which is the parent class. Here it is written inside class A value, but the value of A and B is not here. We are giving the A and value here. So that means when we are creating the object, we can give or assign the values to any variable of any class because the properties are of B, right? You can see the B is having all the properties, A and B variable also and C variable also. So if your object is of B class, it can assign values to variables of A class and its own class also, correct? So now it is printing 1020 and later when I am calling the show method, it is also printing me A, B and C value as well. So in this program, we are trying to understand that if you're trying to assign a value later on in the main method, you can assign the values of variables of A class also and B class as well. And similarly, you can print it out, right? Let's move to the next code, which is this one. Now, if you look here, we have the same scenario, okay? There's a class parent, we have the M1 method. We have a class child, which is inheriting properties from the parent class, and it is having its own method, which is M2. That means child is also having M1 method, right? And then we are creating an object of parent. Now understand, we are creating an object of parent, right? So when you're creating an object of parent, that means you're limited to only this class. You can't access the child because your object is of parent, not of child. So parent P, if you're calling P.M1, that is fine because parent is having that function M1. But when you're trying to call P.M2, that is where it will give you an error because parent doesn't have the access of your features, your own fetch features. It is similar like, your parent doesn't know that what is your own feature, what is your talent, okay? But you know your parents, right? Because you have inherited all the properties from them. So you know what are they, how are they, what they actually do for you, all those things, right? So this is how it works. Now you can see P.M2 is not going to work because parent class doesn't know what is M2 method. So how we can correct this program? How we can correct this program is nothing but we have to remove this parent constructor from here and we have to write child constructor because we have to create the object of child by the help of parent class, which is nothing but an upcasting. Okay, so we have to do an upcasting here so that the object P, which will be now of child class, can call M1 also and M2 also because child is having M1 method also and M2 method also, right? So this is what some of the use cases or some of the scenarios where you will get an error. It can happen that you will get an error in these cases. So you need to know how to sort this out, correct? So this was the practical implementation. Now let's move to the next topic, which is super keyword in Java, and let's understand what is this? What happens when you use the super keyword? So now, super keyword uses as inheritance always refer to its immediate as an object. What is this word or sentence means when we say refers to its immediate as an object? Let's see. So there are 3 total usages of super keyword. We can use it to invoke the superclass variables. We can use it to invoke the superclass methods, and we can use it to invoke the superclass constructor. Invoke the superclass variable, superclass method, superclass constructor means that from child, within child, if you will use the word super, the time you use the word super, it will directly take you to the parent class. The time you use super keyword, it will directly make a jump and go to the parent class. That is what is super. Okay. So super keyword, if you write, it will take you directly to the super class, the parent class. Okay. That is what it is. It's work. Okay. Now we will see one example for each one of these. Okay. How does it do it in variable? How does it do it in method? And how does it do it in constructor? But before that, I have a very simple problem for you. Simple program. Let's see how does this work. So we have a super class, we have a variable here, and we have a method which is named as display. We have a subclass which is inheriting some properties from superclass, not some, basically all the properties. So this property I equal to 20 and the display will also be in subclass. We have some of the properties of subclass also of its own, which is I equal to 100 and void display. Now in void display, if you look here, we have something written which is called as super.display. We will come back to that, but we are printing some statements also here. Okay, that's fine. We are just printing it. Let's start the execution from the heart of the program, which is the main method. So what we are doing here, we are creating an object of subclass obj, and we are telling it to go to the display method. So we are calling the display method. So what it will do? Obviously, it will directly go to display method of what? Of subclass. So it is going here. Now, once it goes inside the display method, the very first line, what is written? Super.display. So it will directly jump from here to superclass method. That is what I told you. As soon as the compiler will see that there is a super keyword, it will directly jump to that superclass, the parent class. So it jumps there, and what are you calling? You are calling display method. So you are basically telling that, hey, please go to the parent class, check whether there is a display method. If there is a display method, print whatever he wants to print. So what is it? It is wanting to print superclass display method. This is what will get printed first. This will be the output first. Okay. Then it will come back. After completing the job of this method, it will come back. It will come back to the another line. Then it is printing 3 lines of code. Subclass display method, I value, and superclass I value. Now see here again. So it is printing first of all this statement, which is superclass display method. This is what it's printing. Next it will print subclass display method, right? Okay, cool. Now next is I value equal to. So I value equal to. Now it is written. We can see what it is written. It is written I. So what is the I value? Do we have the I value? We have the I value is 100. So it will print what? It will print 100. But now if you see, it is printing what? It is printing superclass I value. Let me remove this so that I can show you the exact answer, right? So now it will print superclass I value. Now see what is written here. Super.I. Again we have the keyword super. But this time using the keyword super, we are not calling the method. We are calling the variable. So it will say that, hey, you will find this variable in your superclass. Go there. So it will go directly to my parent class. What is the value of I? 20. So it will print 20. This is what is the amazing work of super keyword, right? So you can see how you can play around super keyword. You can play with method, you can play with variable. You'll also see how we can play with constructor, and this is how your output will come, right? Now let's see one by one what are the ways how we can use a super keyword. Super keyword is used as a reference for the superclass instance variable. So you can see here we have a class rainbow. We have a string color indigo. We have again one class colorful, and that is inheriting the properties of rainbow. It is still having the color red, okay, its own feature. And then we have the print color method, inside which it is printing something blah blah. We will see that later on, because right now we have to directly go to the heart of the program, which is main method. Creating an object of colorful, that is d.printColor. Obviously it will directly go to my print color method, which is here, right? Now here what is happening? Print color method, system.println color. Print color of, so you can see what is happening. Color we are printing. Color is what? Red. Directly print red. Next, system.println super.color. Super.color. That means once the super keyword comes in, directly go to the parent class and see what is the color there. Indigo. So it will print indigo. So what is happening here? We are using the super keyword to reference for the superclass instance variable, right? So this is how we use super keyword for a instance variable. The next program is for invoking a superclass method. So see the same thing. This time we have a void rain. Okay, let's start from the main method. D is an object of colorful. D.work. So directly it will go to the work method of colorful class. Super.rain. So from here what will happen? It will directly go to the parent class. What is written here? It is written raining. So it will print raining. It will come back. When it is coming back, what is happening? It is calling its own function in this class. It is calling its own function, which is sun. So this will happen. Now in the sun, what is printing? Bright sun shining. So it will print bright sun shining. Right? this is how this particular super keyword will be used to invoke a superclass method. Okay, now your question will be, what about this rain method? It will not be working here because we are not calling this particular rain method anywhere, right? Okay, now let's move to the third one, which is super keyword can also invoke a superclass constructor. Okay, now let's have a look. This is something which is very unique. What is a constructor? A constructor is a very special kind of method which is having the same name of our class. So one is this class rainbow, and we have the constructor here. Can you see? What I said is a special kind of method which is having the same name as the class. It's a method because you have the brackets, and the name of the method is rainbow, which is same as the class name. So it's a constructor. Let's start from the main method. We have a statement where we are creating the object of colorful class, which is D. And as you can see, this colorful constructor, whenever we are writing, we are actually calling that constructor. So this particular statement is actually doing two things. It is also creating an object D and is also calling the colorful default constructor. So it will directly go where? It will directly go to the colorful constructor. We have it. And then we are writing super. You can see now here is the main part. We are writing super and then semicolon. That's it. There is a bracket. Earlier, what we used to do? Earlier, we used to write super.rain method because we are invoking a different method. When we talk about variable, we used to do super.color because that's just a variable. But when it comes to constructor, we are just writing super. That's it. So what it is actually invoking the super class constructor. So it is invoking this particular rainbow. It will print rainbow is mesmerizing. First, this will be printed. It will come back. Then it is printing a second thing. What is printing? Colors are amazing. This is the second thing it will be printing. So this is how the super keyword will invoke the super class constructors. And this is how the super keyword also works in inheritance. So this was the whole detail and, a very descriptive information about the very important concepts in OOPS, which is inheritance, right? So I hope you liked this particular video and I hope you learned a lot. Let's quickly summarize what all things we have understood in this particular video. So we have first seen the real world examples of inheritance and trying to understand what is inheritance, right? And then we have jumped to the syntax of inheritance. We have seen how it is written, how do we actually write a code in inheritance, and then we have seen the different types of inheritance. Single, multi-level, hierarchical, multiple, in which we also learned about interface, and we also learned about something that multiple inheritance is not achieved in Java using class, but it is achieved using interface. And then we also saw hybrid, but there I gave you one question that you have to answer, that what are the mixtures, what are the two inheritance which is mixtured together and combinedly it forms an hybrid inheritance, right? And then we also look upon the practical implementation, and then the last topic, which was nothing but super keyword. So I hope you really liked this video. Thank you so much for giving time and understanding this particular concept. I wish you all the best. Have a great learning. Tata, bye-bye. Take care. I want to introduce you to Great Learning Academy, a free initiative by Great Learning. You can access over 200 plus courses with 1000 plus hours of free content on trending high demand domains absolutely free. Register now to complete the course and get your free certificate of completion. Check out the link in the description of the video below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing. So make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video, any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.